Lake Kokanee again. We were out here Saturday. It's now Friday, so we're 6 days later. Looks like the weather's shaping up to be about the same as it was last time we were here. Showing a water temp of 56 right now, so it's up 2 degrees from last week. Got some different rigging going on here than I had last week. Hopefully the video will come out a little better. Running a net cam today. Not enough room to mount the rod holder to where I want it. I'd rather have it going this way, fishing off this side, but don't have the track rail space for it. So I'm running it this way. I don't know how much you'll be able to catch. I'm actually running a white rod today. I still have him. We had a nice hit there, fishing a metalhead fly from Kellogg at Fish America, and he did not hook up. That's the second short strike I've got on that metalhead fly. Probably need to put a trailer on it. So we had one on there. I don't know if we still do or not. Let's see. He was there, but I don't think he is now. Oh yeah, there he is. There we go. So there's that trolling fly. It's just an orange and or pink and white.
Okay, so we're hooked up. This is the third takedown, but if I get this fish to the boat, it's going to be the first to the boat. I'm fishing a Trout minnow on this side of the kayak, and I will have to say they are one of the most effective presentations here in the lakes in the Pacific Northwest, especially those that are stocked. I've been really happy with them, and that's usually the bait I start with first, especially on lakes that I've never fished before. If you recall, this is only the second time we've been out to Kokanee Lake. We were out here a week ago and the fishing was hot. We caught 36 in 2.5 hours. We are doing catch and release. We'll revive him.
I've got 2 colors of lead core out, 25 foot of top shot on top of that. So there's 85 feet. And then just enough to get it back into the water, and that's where I just caught that last fish. The fish are feeding right on the surface. You can see them feeding. Okay, so there's a good hit, and I think we've got him hooked up on that pink and white. Pete's right in front of us. I think he's got a fish on. So this is number 2 for me here. And there he is. Pink metalhead fly. It's about an inch and a half off the tip there. I've got a bobber stop and a bead and a wiggle fin, and that is what's running in there and catching the fish. That's number 3 on that metalhead. He's got beautiful color to him. Beautiful color. There he's getting some air. Trying to find his way out. Come on, buddy. And there he goes.
So Mike's right behind us. He's got hooked up on a pink and white metalhead fly on these, the Trout minnow here. On that.
This is a 8-foot Lama Glass tournament kokanee. So essentially it's their classic glass rod, 8-foot classic glass. Weight range is 2 to 8. And it's very much a parabolic rod. It's a great downrigger rod. Probably not the absolute best for this downrigger or this lead core technique. But one thing I will say about them is they got a ton of eyes and they're very tiny when you get up to the end. So when you're running lead core through there, especially your uni to uni knots and stuff, it's a little difficult to get that first bit of line out past your top shot sometimes. So like I said, I'm running this rod primarily because it's light colored and I think it'll show up better on video. I really prefer a slightly shorter rod and one that's not quite so limber for this particular technique. But
and I got the spool tensioner set perfect on that, so I don't know how that happened, but it is locked in there tight. I need some type of like needle. I might be down to one fucking rod today because this is tight as shit. And even if I cut it, I'm not sure how I get it out of there.
I can get it.
All right, let me reel it up so I can just hand it to you. I ain't gonna be too proud. I'll come around on your other side. So folks, what I have here is a Pete Fisher bird's nest, and somehow, I'm not sure how I did it, and that is an issue with lead core. If you're not really careful, it can get caught over itself and it gets tight in there, and I'm trying to undo it, and Mike's gonna fix it for me because I don't have the patience or apparently the technical skill. Mike?
oh shit!
Oh, look at that. Y'all take it back if you want.
I got you.
So Mike's trying to fix my rod, and he's hooked up.
We're gonna put that down right there, and we're gonna catch this fish, and then we'll go to fixing that other rod.
Nope,
It was there.
came off.
So I unplugged or untangled Pete's lead core rod there. He had some tangles all the way down into the lead and underneath the top shot. Got all that done. I'm going to go, change up to Uncle Larry's spinner. It's a kind of a neat little spinner, beads, Colorado blade, single hook. We got these promoted from Catch America, and I'm running that right behind one of Cal Kellogg's mini willow leaf dodgers, again from Catch America. And normally you would run these fairly short on a dodger. This is a little longer than I would normally run it, but I don't want to cut it too short. Just see what it does. The closer you run it to the dodger, the more action it's going to get. But
I have it on cruise control right now.
All right.
Oh, there you go.
Finally.
Finally. I was like, you rolled right through it. This is not even where they are right now. That's how I even started looking at this. I was going to buy the Hobie, and I'm like, yeah.
There we go. Oh, that's a nice fish. All right, I may have been a little overzealous in the nice fish. Starting to swim with the boat, maybe. Yeah. I'm sitting here trying to reel in a fish, and Mike's giving me grief. He's picking on me. Oh.
Here we are approaching our competition. He's got a fish on.
It was so nice because he was dragging 3 colors of lead core with him.
started fishing about color. Last week, Saturday, we fished this lake, and I fished a red imperial spoon, just bright red spoon, little bit of silver tape on it, and that seemed to work really well. I know Pete was fishing a little pink last week, and he seemed to do okay. So when I started this morning, I wanted to try a fly because I had never tried a fly at this lake. So I selected one of my favorite trolling flies, the metalhead from Shoot to Catch America, and I went with the pink and white pattern. It seemed to work pretty well. I was trying to stick with red just to see if red stuck out and continued as a color, and a little later I'll switch back to a red spoon or a red something and see how that does in comparison. I did not have one of the red. There's a really red and black Larry's fly, or Larry's spinner, and I forget what the name of the color pattern is, but I really wanted to try that one. I'm going to check with Pete and see if he has one on his boat. So right now, that spinner I'm running has some orange beads on it. It's got a Fire Tiger blade, so a little bit of mixture of bright colors in there, but last week the bright colors seemed to work well. Fish on that Larry spinner. Well, that's not a bad fish. Oops. Good Lord, buddy. I will let you go. And there he is. That's the first time I fished that spinner, and did not disappoint so far. Mini willow leaf. That leader is maybe 12 inches. And there's that spinner right there. Orange, silver, a little bit of Fire Tiger on that blade. Aim at him. There he is. That's a nice trout. There he goes.
Okay, so we're hooked up again. Made a couple of small adjustments. I'm again 136 feet. That's 50 foot of top shot, and 2 colors, right, is 60 feet. So about 2.5 colors in the water. And on the right side of the kayak, I switched to a rainbow pattern hot shot, and I'm fishing that 115 feet behind the kayak. And I've tried plugs on this side. This would be the second plug. I've tried a trigger spoon, and I've tried a spinner. And so I think what I'll do next is maybe try a fly, or I may go with the soft plastics because the Trout Tricks minnow is doing so well. I may go to a Trout Tricks worm and true soft plastics on both sides.
There I had a takedown, but I couldn't get my camera to come on. And here we got one coming in. And that is a pink Trout Tricks worm I switched to. Again, more Catch America tackle. Got my net on my pedals there. That's a nice fish. Again, pink Trout Tricks worm. So here we are approaching our competition. He's got a fish on. Not sure how well you can see it with my net there. Probably not.
It was so nice because he was dragging 3 colors of this one.
And we're still trolling as well, but let's get a look at this fish Pete's got. So he's running trigger minnow, it looks like there.
Yep.
Beautiful fish. There he is. Nice. I'm still fishing that Larry's spinner, but I put an ounce of Gibbs on there, and I went back 61 feet, so it's a color and an ounce.
I'm gonna see if I can just keep Mike on the camera and not get my line into his.
Nice fish, dude. Ah!
Oh, it came off?
Right there.
Oh. I think this is a dink. Well, maybe not. No, not big.
On that Trout Tricks. Yeah, and I'm running an ounce on there. I'm about 50 feet behind the kayak. So if I had to guess, I'm 5-6 feet deep there. Went a little deeper as the sun came out of the water. A little higher. I'm running that Gibbs sliding sinker, so it hangs on the line and it'll slide. You can actually put it on the line where you're still trolling, and then it clips into the line with a little springy attachment there. And I move it up a little bit away from the Dodger, because if you let it run right on the front of the Dodger, it kills the action of the Dodger. So that's the thinking there. red Trout Tricks worm from Catch America. In the net. There's that trout. Beautiful. Who does not want to come to the net? Ooh.
Saw that, I was letting out and it hit. So maybe they're coming back to the surface. Of course, there's a little bit of wind, there's a little bit of chop. Eagles are out here playing. You can hear them flying around, swooping, and you can hear them chirping to each other. That's the third fish I just picked up letting out.
So we went wrap up on Kokanee Lake yesterday. We're out here fishing today at Kitsap Lake. We started off early in the day. We were fishing fairly shallow. Water temperature was 54 to 56 degrees during the day. I started off with that pink metalhead fly, which I had a lot of confidence in. Pete was fishing pink the week before. I was fishing red the week before, so I had some idea that pink or red would be a good color up there. Caught 4 on that fly. I changed out, you can see it in the video, to an Uncle Larry's spinner. Just what I had in my box, and I picked up one on that one. That's a good little presentation with a Sierra Diamondback, both those available from Catch America. And then I finished out the day with a Trout Tricks worm, which also is from Catch America. But I was fishing a red worm. Pete, you were fishing a pink one.
Bubblegum. Yep.
Most of the day. So he was fishing bubblegum, either a worm or a Trout Tricks minnow most of the day, and caught quite a few fish on that. So as far as depth goes, we started off shallow, and then the bite kind of died a little bit. So we went deeper. I put an ounce on mine and went a little, not quite as far back. So I was fishing probably 6 feet deep. Pete was letting out quite a few colors there. So they actually went a little deeper there toward the middle of the day. And then toward the very end, right before we got off the water, you'll notice that we were actually getting hooked up while we were letting out. So we went right back to the surface again. A lot of surface activity, so there's obviously fish up there. And when we did that, Pete was catching fish. I think he caught 3 in 2 minutes there. So you really need to pay attention to the depth. The colors are one of the last things that I would necessarily change your focus on. I just have some core colors that I enjoy fishing and that I think are productive, but that's something to mess with. But depth and water temperature are 2 things that are really critical to catching fish and identifying where they are in the water column. So we were fairly successful yesterday. Beautiful day on the lake. Hopefully we get up there again soon.